Been shot. How many times have you been shot?
9 times.
9 times.
Lloyd Banks is very upset that this guy has all his money.
This nigga go.
He has all of his money.
This nigga go.
But it's really about trust issues. Don't trust.
Paranoia from the experience of actually being hurt heightens your senses to everything, the possibilities of things happen. It shifted me.
Why'd the guy shoot you 9 times? Was it drugs or something?
It was paid to do it.
Why were you targeted?
It's calm. When you get hurt that bad, either your fear consumes you or you become a bit insensitive. So just after...
Which one was it for you?
There was a point that I was afraid.
It all begins with a single, harrowing question. How does surviving something most wouldn't change a person? According to public sources, Lloyd Banks reacts strongly to the idea that someone close to him might mismanage or mishandle wealth. The root isn't just money, it's trust, built and then shaken through life-altering experiences. Being hurt, especially repeatedly, alters perception. It heightens awareness, sharpens instincts, and forces one to see possibilities others overlook. In the case of Lloyd Banks and his circle, those experiences didn't just teach caution, they reshaped decisions, interactions, and alliances.
Right behind me is my grandmother's home. I came out like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, May 24th. She was bent over, actually planting flowers in the garden, and I walked over here to sit in the actual vehicle that my friend was waiting for me in, and the car pulled up on the side of us. A guy got out the passenger seat of that car, came around behind it, and shot through the actual car.
Surviving 9 gunshots isn't just a story, it's a turning point that changes everything. According to interviews and public accounts, 50 Cent faced a situation where the consequences were literal, life or death. Being targeted like that reportedly wasn't random. Sources suggest it was related to business disputes in the drug world. The aftermath left him physically unharmed, but mentally altered. Some people retreat into fear after trauma, others grow emotionally hardened. For him, it was a mix, courage and caution intertwined. That night didn't just take innocence. It recalibrated his trust in everyone around him, creating a lens through which every future interaction would be measured.
A bulletproof vest now most of the time, I believe.
Yeah, in the States, just because I've been shot myself, you know, and I've seen Tupac and Biggie Smalls.
Before the spotlight, before mixtapes and platinum chains, there was simply a young man trying to escape his surroundings through music. According to public sources, 50 Cent's early years in Southside Jamaica, Queens, were defined by ambition amid danger. The shooting didn't just test his survival. It cemented a mentality of vigilance and self-reliance. He wasn't flashy, wasn't chasing wealth for status. He was focused on mastery of his craft. Every rhyme, every verse was a calculated move toward a future where he could rise above the chaos that surrounded him. That foundation, built on grit and resilience, would later define G-Unit's ethos and the loyalty expected within it.
May have one, but let's see if he connected the dots lyrically. He may have not connected the dots lyrically. You can find me in the... I'm like, this is it. I turned the rule and everyone in the office, and I said, yo, buckle up. We have a major problem.
This guy's hot.
This record, and he's with Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, and Eminem.
May 24th, 2000, a date that would mark a turning point in 50 Cent's life. According to public sources, he was outside his grandmother's home, a place that symbolized family and safety. When the attack occurred, the sheer audacity of being targeted in broad daylight highlights the intensity of the danger he faced. Surviving 9 bullets didn't just make headlines, it forged a new lens through which he viewed the world. Every step afterward was calculated, every trust measured. That morning wasn't just about survival. It became a lesson in vigilance, resilience, and understanding that every move in life could carry irreversible consequences.
Has more cred than you, living after being shot 9 fucking times.
I don't know what the criteria are for street credibility. Or
That's
if
it.
If there's something that creates more merit for you. I looked at that experience as something that was unfortunate that I had to, because
I forget, why did the guy shoot you 9 times? Was it drugs or something?
It was paid to do it.
He was paid to do it?
Yeah.
Who would want to shoot you?
Why were you targeted?
You're such a good guy.
It's my past.
It was a drug thing?
No,
like a
just
business thing?
It's karma.
Karma?
Karma?
Explain to me again why this guy was hired to shoot you 9 times.
Well, he was paid because someone, felt like that
I would potentially do something to them if they kept going in the direction that they were going.
Man, you are tough. Motherfucker.
What are you talking about?
The fact that somebody put out a hit on him because he was going to fuck somebody up? What kind of shit is that? That's crazy.
What is this all of?
The shooting could have ended it all, yet according to public accounts, it did the opposite. Instead of breaking him, it sharpened him. Surviving something so close, so personal, forced a permanent shift in awareness. Sources say he began moving differently, hypervigilant, always calculating risk, and embracing protective measures like a bulletproof vest, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. This wasn't paranoia, it was preparation. Every decision, every movement, every partnership was filtered through a lens of survival. It was a reminder that in his world, danger could appear without warning, and only the cautious, the alert, and the disciplined would endure.
He came to the block, 50 up there, Preem, dude, you know those. You know what 50 did? Yeah.
Do it back, yeah.
Oh, you know what the block did?
Yeah, that's what
that's when I knew 50 didn't give a and that's when I knew Preem.
Survival didn't slow him down, it fueled his work ethic. According to public sources, even with injuries that would keep most people sidelined for months, he returned immediately to the studio, a jaw wired shut, a body still recovering. None of it stopped him. The underground felt the impact instantly, with mixtapes circulating that caught attention far beyond his immediate neighborhood. His resilience became part of the legend, a blueprint for how trauma and determination could coexist. Fans began to recognize not just his talent, but an unshakable drive shaped by real-life danger. The music wasn't just entertainment, it was a statement, a declaration that survival could be transformed into art, influence, and control over his narrative.
Dark, green eyes. See that? Be like, black as hell with green eyes. Eyes look like hell in them. So, right? So, you got Chaz, you know what I'm saying? We was around all that, you know what I'm saying? We was around all these, you seeing these. So, but back then you had E-Moneys, you had your Troys,
Money back,
you had your Homos. So for me, the way to stay alive was kind of like mind your business. You know what I mean?
After you mind your business,
you you just knew who all the killers was, so you kind of like, you know how it was back in the days. Yo, you just spit on so-and-so's sister. Oh, you dead. You know how that was back in the days. It was more of a name thing. Like, say a name, like, you from the Ville. Yo, that's so-and-so. People, you just slapped what's name's sister. The whole block would be like, oh.
You have to be doing something crazy if you're known in the hood with no social media.
It was crazy, man. I just stayed out the way. You know, like 50.
Just like in the ghetto, right in the hood, on the block. Everybody knows who to talk certain ways to.
Right.
You know, everybody knows who to with. There's always a higher arc level when somebody you know he runs the name.
By this point, 50 Cent wasn't just a rising talent. He had become impossible to overlook. According to public accounts, industry insiders immediately recognized the fire in his voice and the raw potential in his lyrics. Executives and producers like Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, and Eminem reportedly took notice quickly. His presence created a sense of urgency in the offices, the kind of energy that demands attention and forces action. It wasn't just about a hot track. It was about someone whose life experience, survival, and lyrical talent converged to create a magnetic force in hip-hop. For the industry, it signaled the arrival of an artist who would not only dominate charts, but also influence culture and shape a new blueprint for success.
Preem would come to the block, Black Just.
Everybody
Preem, I don't know. I never trusted dog.
Everybody Just
I'm a street. Dark skin, Preem eyes look like the devils in them.
The ripple effect of those mixtapes cannot be overstated. According to public sources, Eminem was among the first to recognize the raw energy and authenticity in 50 Cent's recordings. Once the tapes reached Dr. Dre, momentum built rapidly, culminating in a record deal that would alter the trajectory of his life. In Da Club wasn't just a hit, it became a cultural earthquake, reshaping the hip-hop landscape almost overnight. But 50 Cent wasn't a solo act. He brought G-Unit into the spotlight alongside him. Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yao became more than collaborators. They were extensions of his vision, a squad whose loyalty and chemistry were central to the group's explosive rise. The music, the story, and the persona all intertwined to create a phenomenon that fans and critics couldn't ignore.
Paranoia from the experience of actually being hurt heightens your senses to everything, the possibilities of things happen. It shifted me. It's either when you get hurt that bad, either your fear consumes you or you'll become a bit.
G-Unit's rise was about more than just music. It was chemistry forged through shared history and loyalty. According to public sources, Young Buck brought a fiery Southern intensity, Lloyd Banks contributed precise, calculated lyricism, and Tony Yao, a lifelong friend, anchored the group with streetwise wisdom. Together, they formed what some fans described as a street-built superhero squad, each member complementing the other's strengths. Yet, despite the fame, the money, and the power, 50 Cent's past trauma lingered. The night he was shot 9 times remained a psychological shadow, influencing how he assessed threats, who he trusted, and how he protected both himself and his crew. Success didn't erase that memory. It amplified the need for vigilance and loyalty within the group.
I'm gonna stay out of it, man. Kiss has been one of my homeboys from, the early stages of my career on the underground mixtape level, and Fat Joe is a dude who I got love for in the streets, you know what I'm saying, is TS Squad and Black Wall Street. No problems, man. So, I'm just standing on the outside looking in.
So where does he stand as far as G-Unit is concerned right now?
Across the street or around the corner. He's not in my camp.
Not at all?
No way.
Okay.
Do you think your relationship is repairable? I don't know what really caused it, Biggs. I don't try to patch relationships, friendship. When they fall apart and you have no idea, what was the motivation, it says that you don't have to be involved for it to fall apart again. Because you wasn't involved with what made it fall apart in the beginning. So, we're cool. You can play it out. He's a rapper, man. This is hip hop. In the heat of it, you actually got beef with the person. You're like, what? I can't wait to run into him. Let's see how they move when we run into him. So if you've been saying the song, you've been saying lyrics to yourself, or you're a gangster, for Lord knows how long, this points that these fools start to believe themselves. And they start doing things and moving around out of character. They're doing things that they wouldn't have done before they wrote that song, before they started doing these things. And a lot of times, they make mistakes that you can't go back to. People just enjoying life.
For 50 Cent, survival alone wasn't enough to explain the danger he faced. According to public sources, he consistently maintained that the attack wasn't random. Someone orchestrated it with intent. In his mind, the people behind it had more street credibility, more influence, and more at stake than most could comprehend. Surviving 9 bullets elevated him in ways the public couldn't see, but it also left him with a deep understanding of the complex hierarchies and unspoken rules within the streets. Credibility, power, and respect weren't earned through talent alone. They were earned through experience, survival, and the ability to navigate life-threatening situations without faltering. That mindset would shape his decisions, alliances, and how he ran G-Unit for years to come.
Giving them a chance, giving them the benefit of the doubt then, but you could take this as official notice right here, because we're on the hottest morning show in the world right now. Ow. Pretty much you could say Young Buck is no longer in the group G-Unit, but signed to G-Unit as...
Looking back, 50 Cent described the shooting as a dark but defining moment in his past. According to public sources, the attack was reportedly tied to drug-related business disputes rather than a personal vendetta. Being targeted in that way underscored the dangerous intersection between street business and survival. It wasn't just a brush with death, it was a wake-up call, a brutal lesson about trust, loyalty, and the consequences of ambition in an unforgiving environment. That night didn't just leave physical scars, it forged an unspoken code of vigilance, shaping how 50 Cent evaluated every encounter and how he built a team he could rely on unconditionally.
Got out of line a little bit with you. I swear to God I have.
Yeah, you're gonna be alright, man. You hear me?
I'm wrong.
This is 50.com.
According to public sources, the shooting was reportedly connected to retaliation in the complex web of street business and perceived threats. Someone allegedly believed that 50 Cent could disrupt their operations, so they hired a hitman to eliminate the risk. This intersection of karma, fear, and calculated action shaped not only 50's physical survival, but also his strategic mindset. Every decision after that moment was filtered through awareness of who might be watching, plotting, or waiting to take advantage. The incident became a silent guide, influencing not only his personal choices, but also how he managed relationships within G-Unit and the wider hip-hop community.
Banks.
Banks, he just, I don't even know, he couldn't even tell you, like, at any point when you speak to him what a problem.
Damn.
I put him, like, where I put Marquise.
Oh, wow.
Like, they just have something internally that's going on with them that gives them some sort of resentment towards me, and I just don't even.
While 50 Cent publicly named Daryl Hamo Bound as the man behind the shooting, according to public sources, the streets told a more complicated story. Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a feared figure in New York's underground, was allegedly involved in orchestrating the hit. McGriff's reputation alone carried weight, and reports suggest that his influence extended far beyond what most outsiders could see. This discrepancy between public statements and street whispers highlights the complex layers of trust, rumor, and perception that surrounded 50 Cent's early career. It also reinforced his belief that survival required constant awareness, understanding not just who pulled the trigger, but who had the power to pull the strings. The uncertainty surrounding the true orchestrator of the attack added layers of tension that no amount of fame could dissipate. 50 Cent reportedly began viewing every interaction, every handshake, every business meeting through the lens of caution. Trust, once freely given, became a rare commodity. Within the G-Unit circle, this perspective shaped the dynamics of loyalty, hierarchy, and communication. Each member understood that their personal safety and career longevity depended not only on talent, but on unwavering alignment with 50's rules and instincts. Publicly, 50's resilience became part of the mythos, the survivor who bounced back faster than anyone expected, the man whose mixtapes captured a city's attention while simultaneously warning adversaries that he wasn't to be underestimated. Yet behind the scenes, the shadows of past threats remained present, shaping strategic decisions from touring routes to recording sessions. The crew's cohesion was tested not by competition alone, but by the lingering specter of real-world danger, the kind that could manifest in a blink. According to public sources, every choice was measured, every loyalty evaluated, and every misstep had potential consequences, far beyond a lost record deal or a missed collaboration. As G-Unit grew into a cultural phenomenon, the public saw the music, the flashy videos, the tours, and the brand. But few understood how deeply entwined survival and strategy had become in the group's internal structure. Each member's role was not simply artistic, it was functional. Young Buck's southern energy, Lloyd Banks' steady lyrical sharpness, and Tony Yao's long-standing presence weren't just stylistic contributions. They were stabilizing forces, pillars in a structure constantly under threat, both legally and socially. The industry may have framed it as musical dominance, but insiders reportedly recognized a system optimized for resilience and influence, a blueprint of loyalty under pressure. Even as mainstream success mounted, fractures began to emerge in subtle ways. Conflicts that started as creative disagreements or differing priorities slowly became public, revealing the tension between individual ambition and collective responsibility. Reports indicate that some members struggled to balance personal goals with the expectations of the squad, while others silently processed the psychological weight of past dangers. It was a quiet storm, visible only to those paying attention. Fans might have noticed a missing verse, a delayed appearance, or a subtle change in stage energy, but the underlying pressure went largely unseen. Then came moments where the narrative turned sharply, catching the public off guard. Members once viewed as untouchable started stepping away, whether temporarily or permanently, and each departure carried both emotional and strategic ramifications. Young Buck's eventual distancing, for example, wasn't just a musical shift. It represented a fracture in trust, a challenge to the carefully maintained equilibrium 50 had constructed over years of adversity. Each change forced recalibration, revealing the fragility even within a crew seemingly built to withstand the impossible. Meanwhile, Lloyd Banks' approach offered a contrasting example of loyalty under pressure. Unlike some peers, he reportedly remained measured, quiet, and deliberate. He didn't make headlines for drama, nor did he publicly challenge decisions. Yet, the very restraint he exhibited created ambiguity. Was it contentment, cautious strategy, or latent frustration? Public commentary speculates, fans debated, and insiders observed, but Banks' silence added another layer to the narrative, proof that not all loyalty manifests through confrontation. In this way, G-Unit became a study in contrasts, explosive public statements paired with disciplined behind-the-scenes maneuvering, each reaction calculated to preserve both safety and influence. As the years unfolded, the industry watched closely, noting that 50 Cent's personal history, surviving near-fatal violence, navigating street politics, and building a musical empire, influenced every interaction. According to public sources, he developed an instinctive way of reading people, assessing threats, and protecting assets. The fallout from internal rifts and external challenges shaped not just individual careers, but the culture surrounding hip-hop, influencing how future groups approached management, branding, and loyalty. The interplay between personal experience and professional strategy became an unspoken lesson, one that would ripple through the industry long after the original members pursued separate paths. Yet even with the departures, the legacy of G-Unit remained undeniable. Their influence on fashion, mixtape distribution, and the digital era approach to beef and loyalty became templates for countless artists. While the public often focused on the drama, the underlying narrative revealed a nuanced story of survival, strategy, and calculated risk. Each decision, from releasing a diss track to enforcing boundaries within the crew, was informed by a deep awareness of the stakes involved, creating a tension that was as psychological as it was cultural. Over time, the group's disbandment, departures, and feuds crystallized into a broader narrative about trust, ambition, and consequence. Sources suggest that 50 Cent's instinct to protect his space at all costs wasn't simply paranoia, it was an operational necessity built from experience. Fans continue to dissect every interaction, weighing choices and outcomes, but the reality is that the survival strategies embedded in those early years set the stage for how he navigated subsequent business and creative ventures. It's a reminder that in this world, talent alone is rarely enough. The lessons learned under fire often define the trajectory of an entire career. Ultimately, what began as a violent, life-altering moment evolved into a layered story of resilience, leadership, and the complex dynamics of loyalty. Public fascination endures because the drama and success were inseparable. Every feud, every betrayal, and every quiet act of loyalty contributed to the legend of 50 Cent and G-Unit. The crew's story serves as both a cautionary tale and a blueprint, demonstrating the intersections of personal history, professional ambition, and survival in an unforgiving environment. And as fans continue to debate hypotheticals and legacy, the larger truth remains clear. The actions taken in the shadows, the silent calculations, and the lessons learned under threat continue to echo through the culture, influencing how we view trust, power, and endurance in hip-hop today. And don't go anywhere. Click the next video you see on your screen for even more juicy celebrity chaos, betrayals, and stories Hollywood doesn't want you to know. See you in the next one.